Oh no, Darcy, we just lost.
Live streaming is on.
I fixed it. Good.
And the hospital's falling apart because Rob's here.
Okay, I think we have 13.
Yep, we have 13 now.
Okay, let's act quick.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
I guess I just have to load it twice.
You know what? At your age, Gord, that's okay.
I think you said you're number one.
Read into it whatever you may. Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Ah, dear. Okay. Well, let's do this then. Well, I got the adjournment page on this. That's pretty good. Oh dear! I thought I had the page turned up right here to get this in progress, but all right, we got the quorum. Health and welfare. You got any reports of sick or injured?
I don't know whether it's common knowledge or not, but Ron Place, former member of our club, passed away in August. It was circulated to some. I don't know how many got it.
He was still in Kelowna, was he?
No, actually, he was in Winnipeg, I believe.
Oh, okay. Bugger to communicate with 2 meters from here.
He has in the past, because his relatives live just below me, downhill in Winfield. I think it's his daughter.
Oh, okay. How old was he, Gord?
About 82, 83, somewhere in there.
A little scary, isn't it?
No, pardon me, he was 81.
81. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So I figure I'm safe.
Yeah. You've made it past there. Okay. Well. All right. I don't suppose we've got visitors on here.
Nope.
No. Minutes of the last meeting. I guess everybody get them on email.
Received them.
They were updated.
They were updated, you say?
The footnote said they were updated the day after I got them. I think it was a cut and paste from last month.
Okay.
I'll move them.
All right. Seconder?
I'll second.
Anybody contrary? And I guess it's too late for us for discussion, but okay. Let's mark it as carry on. Membership, Rob.
The minutes for last month were a whole lot of nothing. So
Yeah. Yeah.
As of the last time I checked the mail, which was, I confess, about 10 days ago, we had a total of 66 paid up members in the club. That would include the life members who have to pay $0.
Okay. And what was our height up till June?
Our height?
Yeah, we have 72 or something.
At the end of last year, we had 72 members, but of those, there were 10 students that received free memberships. So there were, in effect, 62 paid or life members.
Okay. So we're holding our own.
Well, we're ahead from a paid membership perspective. We are ahead of last year. There are some people who haven't renewed yet that are typically supporters of the club, so I expect that the number of 66 will grow over the next few months.
Okay, thank you. And finances.
At September 30th, the gaming account had $19.09 in it, and the operating account had $6,114.12.
Interesting note. Looking at that thing from gaming, I assume that we don't get into trouble for having $19 left over from before.
Absolutely not. They're
No.
all good. They're all good with that.
Okay. We spent just about all our money.
I
Yeah.
think we're fine.
Yeah. Okay. No outstanding bills that you're aware of,
Not that I'm aware of, although, and this is reference to Stephen. Stephen, right at the end of the year, you did a request for a $40 check for the filing fees for this coming fiscal year. Have you paid those now?
Yes, I would have paid those a long time ago.
Because if you have, I don't think I've seen, unless I missed it, the receipt for that. And the reason I ask that is that right now I've got that $40 filing fee in the accounts as a prepaid expense because we paid it before the end of the last fiscal year. And so if I can get that receipt from you at some point, I can just do the bookkeeping entry to record it as an expense for this year.
Okay, I will send you the email that I already sent you.
Okay, that's right. No rush for it. It's just a bookkeeping entry, Stephen. You're not going to get another $40, just so you know.
No, I found it in my email. I wasn't very specific in the text of the email, so that may be why it got lost.
Okie dokie.
But
Thank
it
you.
does quote the check number in there, so you should be able to line it up.
Okay.
Is there a filter that loses these things somewhere between the server you're using and the ham one that Rob's using?
Me and Rob don't seem to be able to send each other email reliably. I don't really know why.
I think we live on different planets, so that's the reason.
It gets drowned going across the lake.
Yep.
Okay. We got any correspondence? Oh, I suppose, do we need a motion, I suppose, to accept those reports? Or do we normally? I can never remember.
Yes, I think we do normally do a motion. I think it wasn't in the last minutes because Rob wasn't actually here for it.
Oh. Okay. Anybody want to move and somebody else second that we accept the membership and financial reports.
I'll move it.
Sorry, who moved it?
Gordon seconded, and Greg will second it.
Okay.
Okay. Is there any further discussion on either one? Okay. Anybody contrary? Carried. Solve that problem. Correspondence. Anything?
The only correspondence that I am aware of, as there was nothing in the mailbox other than checks, but there was received today a letter from the Community Gaming Grant approving our application to the extent of $16,500.
Well, I think at the very least, we need to thank Bob for his efforts in having upped the ante. Memory serves me correctly, I think we're about $3,000 greater than the last application that was processed and a grant made. So good work, Bob.
Yes, thank you for the excellent work, Bob.
Thank you. I will say that I was incredibly pessimistic about about the chances of getting any money whatsoever this year, but Gord kept encouraging me that, oh yeah, well, you never know, and he gave me the history of why we might be seeing some. So I'm not only happy that we got a little extra money, but I'm happy that we got any money at all. So this is a double bonus for me.
That's right. And the tech committee will be really happy.
Well, that's the other issue is that now that we have the funds, we have, as we're all aware, we have a window within which to spend them, and so that'll be the next order of business, I guess. There is a caveat in the letter, and I'm not certain how to interpret it, but it does say that if the programs cannot be delivered on time, funding may not be used for your general operating expenses, but should be retained until programming resumes. The time frame to spend grant funds for programming canceled or postponed due to COVID-19 has been extended from 12 to 24 months without requesting prior approval from the branch. Now, I don't know if any of our projects are going to be affected by COVID-19, whether we're stuck with 12 months or whether we feel that we have license to go 24. I will leave that to brighter minds to figure out than are sitting here on the call today.
Time will tell. Okay.
Spend it all. We could just spend it all quickly before they take it back.
I think Gord had his hand up there.
I don't see any issue there to be concerned about. In reality, we've been spreading our disbursements over 18 months. As long as we get it done before the close of our next gaming application, we're good to go.
Yeah, it's basically June of 2022.
Yeah, but we want to have a minimum or have less than 50% on hand as of June 30th this year. But I see we've got Fred present, so that will not be an issue.
Fred, you're muted. So your smart aleck comment has not been heard by the rest of the group. You might want to push your spacebar button so that we can all hear what you had to say. Press the button. Press the spacebar, Fred.
Now, I have too many windows open. That's the lesson. You can hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, that'll take less than 4 weeks, I said, to spend it.
Yeah,
That's
$4,000 a
why
week.
you were invited.
Well, the lessons I've had at work was when we got capital budget, I had spent 75% in the first quarter, while others were still figuring out what hardware they wanted. We enter the second quarter, there's a capital freeze. I got 75% of what I wanted. They got zero.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. I mean, I would space this out in, groups that we can manage. But a lot of it is equipment acquisition. So if you're making a Radio World order, you might as well group everything together that you're buying from Radio World to get the best price, etc. Right?
I think Gord wanted to say something.
Just as a point of interest, our grant is 77% of what we asked for, and that's darn good, to put it bluntly.
Yeah. Yeah, usually if we get about 60%, we're damn lucky, I think, isn't it?
Well, we've been known to take whatever we can get.
Yeah. So I think isn't Hamwan equipment one of the big items in this deal, or do we need some new repeater radios?
Well, there's a long list that that Gord and worked up. So it'll. I'm sure that the tech committee will be able to prioritize.
I've started a little bit of work. Sorry, I started a little bit of work on that, and there are a couple of adjustments because, like, I've been eating up FTM 400 radios here to keep the Wires X stuff going, but there's certain things we can do, like the little Stephen has a little mini computer. If we put that out at Kuipers and we run the Wires X HRI 200 straight into the repeaters at a site that we can walk into, that'll free up some radios as well. So this is pretty close to what we want to do, but we can probably tweak it a bit to maximize the value. But that's, again, just looking at it right now. I think we laid a good groundwork.
Hey, Rob, in that letter that they sent us, there was one paragraph that I don't recall seeing in the past. Did you read that page 3, the first bullet point there?
Yeah, it says admin required. The search and rescue amateur radio and volunteer fire organizations applying in the public safety sector are not eligible to submit a renewed funding application at any time. Therefore, the next application must be submitted using the regular form application. Now, I thought that we used the regular form application. Am I wrong in that, Gord?
You're correct, Bob. They're making reference to what was formerly called a short form application, and we don't qualify for that.
So I think this is probably, I'm guessing, Stephen, that this is probably boilerplate.
Okay.
And so I don't know how charitable the tech committee feels, but I do know that there are at least 2 people on this call who would be interested in seeing if, given the site survey that we've done, whether we can implement action to the EOC site for West Kelowna. Would that be correct, John?
I would be very interested in that. Since the tech media meeting is basically kind of a group of people showing up, and I've been sharing it. We're just going to have to go through what we got, what are we asking for, and any revisions or changes that we see, then come back with a plan of how to go about what we're going to do.
So, Fred, I mentioned that mostly for your benefit, because I don't think you've been involved in those discussions. or Stephen.
I've been around for parts of them, but not the whole thing.
Has anybody approached the fire chief over there yet to see whether there's any interested sites? And
I think Gordon wants to speak.
As a follow-up to our last meeting in which we discussed this topic, I indicated I would try to touch base to line up a contact over there for Stephen to make contact with in terms of EOC and more being much more knowledgeable on Hamwan than I. I talked to Gord Strachan and he said he knows the fire chief over there because he used to be in the Kelowna Fire. He doesn't know him well, but he would be willing, if Stephen's interested, to initiate an introduction. And then it would be up to Stephen to carry the ball from there to sell it primarily for EOC benefit, which if we got that location, if it works for the EOC, then it's going to serve multi-purposes. So it's up to, as I see it now, it's up to Stephen to move on it.
Okay, that's good that we have someone to start a conversation there.
I would suggest you give Gord Strachan a phone call and iron out the best way you think to go between the two of you. And whether you want to do it in person or phone call, entirely up to you guys. Personally, I think it would be worth a trip over just to have a chat with him and reinforce our commitment to the support of the EOC.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a plan. I started a couple days ago trying to get some of the projections done for that, but I'll try and get those done this weekend.
just as an outline for anybody else who hasn't been privy to some of these things going on, well, I can try and explain it. There's a water tower just above Rob's house there on where do you live? Somewhere up in
Tallis Ridge,
isn't it?
Yep, Tallis Ridge.
Tallis Ridge. That gives a line of sight basically from Black Mountain to there, and then it would go back into that notch where the school is, that is used as a muster point for refugees, for people in case of emergency. So that's been the whole plan, because there doesn't seem to be any other. Well, that looks like our best bet at this point. The sightlines do truly work out to because it's powered and it's part of the municipal infrastructure, and that's the whole project behind getting hold of the West Kelowna Fire Chief is because it would be for basically that for that purpose. Of course, once we have a Hamwan, I tell you, the idea is to put a permanent structure on the water tower, and then we would have a portable structure we could take to the school in the event of an emergency, just like a grab and go kit. Am I fairly straight
Yes,
there?
The EOC in Kelowna actually has 2 grab and go kits already.
Hamwan grab and go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I know Gord wants to speak, but it might be useful to have either a semi-permanent or permanent dish at the schools, or a grab and go kit that's accessible on this side of the lake.
No, that definitely is a good idea.
Or a boat.
Well, the advantage of it, I guess, if you could mount it on top of the school, would be that you're going to get a better sight line than if you're sticking it on the ground in front of the school, aren't you?
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, we could build out whatever permanent install we want to do at the school, say, or at the fire hall in West Kelowna. We can build it out very similar to the grab and go kits, where it is a dish radio, and then it also includes a small wireless access point, both of which could be installed outside. And as long as it's reasonably close to where we're going to set up, we wouldn't need significant cabling or a permanent presence inside the building or anything like that.
No.
Okay, Gord and then Fred want to speak.
One other thing to bring into the story here, Stephen, is that according to Gord, the fire hall on the west side had been used as a west side EOC in the past, so that might be something to have them consider the installation there as well.
Gord, I don't think, just from being up there, I don't think we can see the fire hall there. We might, and I want to emphasize the word might be able to see the fire hall on Anders Street, but I don't think we can see the one on Old Okanagan, right by 97. I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
Well, it's just, even if we can't, one of the things you can mention is that we're trying to set up a network that could serve any EOC and reception areas in that area on the west side, and just leave it at that. If we don't get in there directly, well, and it's warranted, then steps could be taken to relay it in there if need be.
Okay, Fred?
Yeah, just looking at our submission, definitely need to build a bigger budget for HamWAN. So I think the HamWAN stuff, I would almost make that a priority. So if Stephen could figure out what he would need for hardware, and I'm all for permanent antennas, then we can adjust everything else, because we've got a lot of Diamond X50 antennas and cabling and things in here that we can drop if that works. Oh, that was a nice hum.
Sounds like your ship's leaving, Fred.
Yeah. Go ahead, Doug.
How's that? I'm done.
No, you got to have 3 blasts of the horn to get that very fast.
Yeah, was that hum wasn't coming from me or somewhere else? I don't know.
From you, I think.
I think it was you, Fred.
Really? Okay, interesting.
Go ahead, Doug.
You, Fred or Brian, that are not mute.
Okay, well, I'm done. So I think we have, all we did for HamWAN was one dish for Okanagan Mountain. So it looks to me like we probably should almost do at least triple the budget there.
Well, my only thought would be that last year we did some replacement of equipment where we put those larger dishes in and took out smaller dishes. And I can tell you, because where this is very close to my house, that the normal smaller dish will give you a good connection to Black Knight, and the connection to the school is also a fairly short hop.
The one thing I was going to say is I have 2 non-penetrating roof mounts, small ones, that are 4x4 foot with a 2-inch pipe, maybe 3 feet, 4 feet long, 4-foot pipe or so, as well as a access to a non-penetrating roof mount that is 12 by 12 feet and has a 4-inch pipe that sticks out about 6 feet. So if there's stuff that we need to do on a cell without drilling holes, I've got a bit of hardware available that makes it very easy for us to do something like that. with just a couple of cinder blocks.
Okay, Doug wanted to speak.
Yeah, just regarding the fire station, I guess it's Hall 31 in West Bank. I think it's possible it might have line of sight to Kuipers.
I will, when I'm doing my plots, I will try that one out and see. Because that may actually be a worthwhile endeavor to just sort of do a loop through West Bank like that. We get some redundancy out of it. We do have to be mindful, though, when we're planning these shots that point-to-point links complicate things for adding sectors in the future if we can't do them in the ham band, because we do not have very much spectrum available without interfering with the sector frequencies. So ideally, we probably only want to do a point-to-point between Black Knight and the water tower, and then cover whatever we need to in West Kelowna with a sector antenna.
It sounds like a plan. I think someday when everybody's feeling like a bit of a climb, you should come on up and we can stand through up the stairwell. We can get up to the base of the antenna mast. So you're going to get higher than that on the antenna mast, but it gives you a pretty good idea of what you can or cannot see.
I think Doug wanted to speak.
Stephen's been up to that site.
Yes, I went up there with Gord at one point, but when we were there, the stairs had been vandalized, so we weren't able to get on top of the tower. We were just able to look from ground level.
You can now climb the stairs, but there's a gate at the top of the stairs that prevents access to the top of the water tower.
Okay.
My comment was just again about the fire station in West Bank. I was thinking of it more as just being a client on HamWAN rather than having a sector there. What do you think, Stephen?
We don't necessarily need a sector, but if it can see both that water tower and Kuipers, it might be worth putting two clients there and having a redundant link through that site.
I agree with Bob, though. I don't think there's line of sight to the water tower from there.
Okay. But if it can hit Kuipers, the link can go the long way around to get from Boucherie to the fire hall.
Yeah.
And maybe if we can convince them to put a dish up on the west side, we'll actually get our dish installed. Because we have equipment to put on the fire hall in Kelowna sitting at the fire hall. They just can't figure out how to get on the roof.
What? Oh, it's something about safety or something, isn't it? With the
fire hall. Bureaucracy.
You have that job where our electricians do.
Yeah.
One way to get around that problem is get West Kelowna all hooked up with it working. Then Kelowna will want whatever West Kelowna has.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead, Gord.
Could we defer any further discussion on this topic to the tech committee? Because this is going to be a rehash there.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Thank you.
Where were we? I guess that was correspondence, wasn't it? We don't have anything, nothing further?
No.
No. Okay. You haven't had anything, Stephen?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Well, I got a copy of the gaming letter as well for some reason. But.
Yeah. Okay. Committee reports. Other than the tech committee, I guess we don't have any other committees, do we?
not really.
No, we don't. No events or anything else these days. It's pretty slow. Yeah, I guess we've pretty well covered whatever the tech committee is going to do, or do we have more?
No, I think we probably covered it for now.
Okay. Old business.
Last month we had discussion of Hamwan to the west side, and that the gaming application had been submitted.
Yeah, we pretty well covered that. Is the matter of the long wire at Cedar Creek going to be that just the tech committee stuff?
We had we tried to have an executive meeting 2 weeks ago, but enough of us did not show up for it to be a quorum. So we had an informal discussion about that. And there's a couple of thoughts there. We can probably repair it because it's not going to be the length it was when we put it up anyway. It's probably going to be longer. And there are repair methods that we found that are suitable for medium to light load applications. So I think we can repair it. We just need to acquire some parts to do so.
I'm just wondering. I mean, maybe it's simplistic, but could it not be eased off and just a couple of cable clamps put on it to tie it back together?
Yeah, I think the solution that we viewed was to use something like this on both ends of the cable, interlocking each other.
Yeah.
And that is a industry recognized way of repairing that cable or joining two pieces of that cable together. And we're not putting a working load or anything like that on there. So safety wise, I don't think it's too big of a concern.
But you're talking about putting the two horseshoes interlocked, are you?
Yes.
How about corrosion? I guess you get corrosion.
Galvanized cable. And these ones, I wouldn't want to use these ones, but these ones are made out of, I don't even know, they don't say. I suspect as long as we use galvanized fittings, we should be fine. I don't know where these came from. They're just in my junk boxes. They say they're from Walmart, but I'm
very comfortable with a point-to-point type of surface like that versus a Western Union type of wrap on the wire or something to increase the contact area over a larger area versus, two loops tucked into each other there. That's problems right
there. The issue is that it's at least 1/8 inch galvanized steel winch cable. So trying to do that kind of union is going to be exceptionally difficult.
Well, even 2 or 3 compression clamps over a length of wire increases your contact area substantially.
That is another option. Like you install these by wrapping the cable around the fitting and then clamping two strands of the cable side by side. So we could probably just overlap 18 inches of wire and put several of those clamps on it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That that it should hold that way. I don't know how many 100 pounds of pressure that would be against that, but yeah, foot of either, foot overlap would likely, if that wouldn't throw the tuning out too badly, then it should work.
Well, it's got to be at least, I'd say it's got to be at least 2 feet longer than it was originally. Like over 20 years, that cable must have stretched to some degree.
Yeah.
And I don't know, at 160 meters, I'm not certain how finicky it is.
We did a little bit of reading, and it didn't look like it mattered all that much. It definitely wouldn't matter for anything below 160. And then the other thing we discussed was putting a counterweight inside the tower to try and reduce the strain on the other mounting points.
Gary, how much slack is there in the mounting line on that on the tree that's nearest, or did you do anything on it?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what spot you're talking about, but I mean, there's plenty of adjustability because the anchor point that's kind of closest to the building there, like straight out the door sort of thing, that had a pulley on it with a length of, that was where we used Fred's wire or rope, so it is adjustable.
So I believe it's this tree here that is roughly where it failed in the loop. Like the pulley is still in the tree, but judging by the lengths of wire left over, it broke around about here.
Oh, okay. I was under the impression it was near the tower, but it's at the other end of the field. Eh?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there? Yeah. Okay.
So the length and adjustability may be depending on where it failed and how close it is to that pulley. That may dictate, we may have to kind of adjust accordingly as far as where we make the splice.
Yeah. Did you do anything in that area, Gary?
No, basically from the tower, if you start going clockwise to basically all of the anchor points, they were just new anchors, and the cable ran through the pulleys.
Okay. An older piece of rope that we've got near where that break is, and about 15 feet in the air or something.
Well, all of the tree anchors were replaced, so they're all brand new.
Oh, okay. So,
Question for Gary. To put the wire back up, do we need the climber to get up to that pulley, or is it reachable by a ladder?
I would say the only one that is reachable by the ladder is the kind of the adjustable leg that is closest to the building, kind of on the top side of this picture. That's the one where Fred's rope is attached to it. So there is some adjustability there. We can reach that with the ladder. All the others, I would say, either a climber of trees or a bucket or somebody with some sort of other levitation device will be required. The
And there,
I did want to go up and look at it. I haven't made it up there yet since the failure, but I just didn't know how much could be done by like I don't know how much. Like I'm assuming that all of the cable is still connected or still running through pulleys. Basically, I just don't know if that's a fact or not.
As far as I could tell, it is running through all but one of the pulleys, and it's the one in the tallest tree at the very end here that it has come out of.
And sorry, Stephen, which one was that?
The one at the point of the property here, the tall, I believe it's a pine tree.
the one near those road barriers.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's just kind of surprising because it just ran through there. I guess if it broke and came through it or whatever, but yeah, I will try to get up there as quick as I can and have a look at it. But I'm expecting that my guess is that the quickest way to fix it with some sort of joint would be to have the climber again.
My question is, do you think that it's worth fixing the cable or replacing it? And the reason I mentioned that is that if there was a failure at one point in the cable, I'm wondering if there are weak points in the other parts of the cable.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, when I read Stephen's description of it, where he noted that there was a lot of these coiled kinks, basically. Once it was broken, I don't know if they were kind of generated when it was originally put up, or maybe when it's been worked on before. But I know every time there was slack in it, there was a lot of these twists. So I don't know. That might be just a call for tech committee and or budget question as far as replacing the whole thing.
I'm not sure what diameter it actually is. I think we guessed it was about 1/8 inch. And looking online, that's like 250 feet is $100. Oh, $100 US, sorry. So it could probably be fixed for less than $200 with replacing the cable.
So, and my only comment is that especially given the inaccessibility of it, if we effect a repair and then we're back doing a repair at another part of the cable a year from now, we could have replaced the cable.
If we're asking questions like that, maybe we should also ask, how much does it get used?
I don't know whether it's often or not, but isn't it one of those few things that not everybody could have something like that, or could you have a loaded one that would work just as well? I'm thinking of, if
Ward jumped in here. He's been raising his hand several times.
A couple of points. One being, I just checked on Princess Auto, 3/16 cable, 150 foot coil for $60. I would strongly recommend, if you're going to go to the effort of trying to repair that, because you're going to have to basically climb every tree anyway, for less than $100, replace all the cable, be done with it.
Yeah. Well, ideally, we need 268 continuous feet. So we're probably going to have to buy 500 feet of it.
Yeah,
500-foot roll at Rona is $90.
Another point, John has been trying to get your attention. He'd like to speak.
Thanks, Gord. I'm leaning towards replacing the cable. Just how many times can we go and ask people to come and volunteer and help out and climb trees to help out? If we replace it once, we can have the proper lengths, and we don't have to hopefully have the wire falling down and getting complaints against us, and we only have to ask someone to come one more time to correct it.
The those prices we're coming out with would be normal cable, wouldn't they? Would that stuff not be aircraft cable? If it's rust proof?
So the stuff I've been looking at, and I assume the stuff that Darcy was looking at, is often described as steel wire.
Yeah.
I've been told that the cable we used in the existing loop was winch cable. I'm not sure what the significant difference is there.
None. Just terminology.
Okay. So yeah, if we're looking at $100 for the main component of replacing it, that antenna has been there for more than 20 years. So it should be replaced, not repaired.
Yeah. But that's you're talking what, 250 feet, but no, isn't it 180 meters?
We need 268 feet.
That would go around that field.
I think you need more like 500, 3 times 160.
Correct.
Oh, yes, I typed the wrong thing into the calculator. You guys are correct. 528.9 feet. 529 feet.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to find out how we got that extra 29 feet last time, because that's not a normal length to buy wire in.
Can you get it like 600 feet?
I'm just wondering whether Darren Langhorne could put us onto something. I think about aircraft cable.
I believe I've been told that John Semenek built the original antenna.
And John was trying to get in here. He had his hand up and he's disappeared.
Oh. I have a whole bunch of windows open covering up the conversation, so I did not see that.
Say he was in. He had.
There's two of you trying at the same time.
He might come
John
back.
Semenek. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we can leave it to the tech committee to figure out, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be an exorbitant amount. And I'll bet some of this newfound money we got would cover that, would it not?
Yeah, I think we were more focused on repairs when we were assuming we were getting $0 from gaming.
Yeah. Yeah. So how old do we think that cable is?
It was there when I became a ham in 2002.
Okay.
So it is at least 18 years old. And I don't remember it being built. So I suspect it was built around the time that we moved to that site.
And then when was that?
That was before my time.
Yeah. Gord, you got any thoughts?
I think it was late 90s.
Yeah.
I'm going to say about 98, but that's purely a guess.
Greg, you must have supervised this, didn't you?
No, I was still in the East Kootenays in 1990. I didn't get over here until 91.
Oh, okay. No, well, that would put it anyway. So it's a good 20 years old. which, and given that it's been out in the weather all that time, unless it was stainless steel, I can understand it.
Yeah, it's definitely not stainless steel anymore. It looks like galvanized.
Yeah.
And Darcy just chirped in here in the chat saying he found 1,000 feet of stainless steel for 195. And then he sent me something else that's 750 feet for $80.
Okay.
80 American pesos, I think.
So based on those pricing, there's no point in trying to jury rig this thing to keep it alive. We can use the cable for something else. We can use it to hold down the pallets at Okanagan Mountain.
No, I think John put enough strapping in. Have they moved, Fred? I don't know where he went. Fred, you there?
Yeah, no, they're still there.
They're still there.
We take 2 pictures a day right now. In the morning. I got to change the timing on that. The other thing that I forgot to mention is that I've, you know how over the summertime we programmed a little algorithm here to turn off the charging, and we ran solar, and we're back fully on battery charging, right? Otherwise, our battery is dropping too much.
We're not getting enough sunshine to keep them up, given the load.
Yeah, and the other thing is that I actually took the DR2X off the battery bank because we actually had the repeater hang up, so I can remotely power cycle it at the moment. In the future, it'll completely run off the battery bank again, but this way we bridge winter, and we're going to be having to charge it, run it off of AC anyways.
Yeah. Especially the way the weather's been lately. 5 minutes of sunshine a day isn't cutting it. No. Excuse me.
Well, and once we're entirely on batteries, we can put it through the Denkovi board and still be able to remotely power cycle it.
Yeah. Okay, so anybody feel ambitious enough to want to look into that or check with Darcy to make the purchase? You say you get, what was it, 600 feet or 700 feet or something?
Yeah, it looks like we can be bought in 750 foot lengths. He sent a whole number of links here in the chat.
Yeah.
But I think we can definitely fix it, like replace it essentially for very economically.
Yeah. Other than the fact, and then we're still going to have to get somebody to go up the tree to drop the pulleys down.
Yeah.
On each one of them, because I don't think we could. You couldn't feed them through, like follow the tape them together sort of thing and pull one through the pulleys. Follow what I'm getting at.
A lot of the pulleys are too small for that.
Or something. But.
What was that, Greg?
What I saw, the pulleys, they're too small to take a double wire through the throat of it there.
Yeah. Okay. All we need is a fire truck or something with a large. Let me see. Okay.
Maybe as a trade to that Hamline connection, we can get the fire department involved.
Yeah.
I mean, in the end, there's a lot of branches on some of those anyway. So even a bucket probably would be challenging, I'll say, but anyway.
Yeah, you need a pike pole to, to reach out and get it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we'll, Stephen, can you deal with that then, or?
I wouldn't say that I have the knowledge really to vet any of these products. So I'm probably
No.
not the best person to take that on.
John, just to chime in, John, if you look at your chat or text feature in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you'll see that John chimed in with some details about aircraft cable. And since he put up the last one, maybe he's keen to spec out this one.
That's the wrong John.
John Semenak?
That's John Clark that put up the specs.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong John. Hi, John.
I'll see if they got specs.
It's okay. Any John will do.
Yeah. Of course, Gary, is that what you work at too? Is aircraft?
I do until December 31st. Yes.
I see. Okay. I'm just thinking that isn't it must be a different coating on aircraft cable, isn't there, to prevent corrosion?
Yeah, that part I'm probably not the right person to answer that as well. But I'll tell you what, I could certainly start asking a few questions at work and see if we can get some expertise. Maybe helping us out a little bit, and then if there's any recommendations from whether it be tech committee or anybody else, we'll just kind of pull those together and go ahead with it. Unfortunately, right now I'm kind of crammed as far as time wise, but if we can get it sourced and purchased, I think then we can just arrange to get it installed whenever works.
Yeah. Well, if you wouldn't mind.
No, first.
Sorry, George, say again.
We need a little snow first.
Just to make it more difficult, you mean?
I was going to say, if it snows enough, you won't need a vehicle or a climber to get up to that level of the trees.
So fundamentally, the difference between aircraft cable and conventional wire rope is aircraft cable has got a plasticized coating on the outside of it. Unfortunately, that plasticized coating doesn't typically stand up well to sunshine anyway, so you're going to get water on the cable. So really, there's no good advantage to using aircraft cable over just regular galvanized wire rope.
Okay, thank you. That solves that problem then. So going back to the things that you've looked at, Darcy, would be just as functional.
Yep. Yeah, they would work just as well. So yeah, we're 1,000 feet or thereabout for under $200. A little bit of shipping, probably the best option. And yes, the climber would have to climb each point, but they'd go up, they'd do this once and hopefully never have to touch it again, or at least not touch it for 10 years. If we repair the cable mid-span, in 2 months, we're going to be asking someone to go up and fix it again.
Yeah, I would certainly agree with that, Darcy. And I think the only other thing is, as long as we're fairly sure what diameter was up there or is up there now, and that we're trying to match that same size.
Yeah, and if if we adjusted the sides, I mean, all we'd have to do is adjust the pulleys. Seeing someone has to go up anyway, they could swap the pulleys out. I know it adds a little bit of time, but we can counter it either way. It's not an unsolvable problem and not something that's significantly more expensive.
Well, and the cable is accessible from the ground now, so we could go up and measure it.
Yeah. Wander up there with a set of calipers. Yeah. Okay.
Somebody probably should go up and secure it to the tree on the far end a little bit better. The only thing I had available to me when I was there was zip ties, and they're not UV resistant zip ties, so they're not going to last forever.
I'll certainly plan on trying to get up there this weekend and take a look at securing and also doing a quick measure on it just to verify.
The stuff on the building side is inside the climb shield on the tower, so you don't really have to worry about that part. But on the far side, it's just coiled up and strapped to a tree.
Or do we just try and pull it out?
We could also do that. The downside to that is you can lower the feed point of that antenna, but the feed line is anchored to standoffs all the way up the tower. So you can't actually lower it without climbing the tower.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that too. So I'll take a look and then we'll just see where we go from there.
Yeah, and if you pulled it out, then you can't. Any of those ones that have still got enough rope to be able to lower the pulley down, you would defeat the purpose if you pulled it out, though, wouldn't you?
There's only one. There's only one that's adjustable like that.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you, sir. We'll await your wisdom on. Oh God, yeah. All right. I guess as far as new business goes, we sort of covered it with the gaming grant having arrived. Is there anything else? Oh, before I leave old business, Gord or John, you want to give a quick recap on what happened with Golden?
Nothing.
Okay, thanks.
That's a lot of
Good thing you
progress.
didn't elaborate on that one.
We canceled out because we couldn't get confirmation that there was drivable access to the hilltop. And with a forecast of 20 centimeters on the Rogers Pass, we figured there'd be at least that much, if not more. So we've delayed it to be determined at a later date. We have the option of either going up via the gondola once it's operational, which probably will be about mid-December, or waiting until June when we can drive up.
The antenna's going to be left there anyway, so presumably.
I suspect that they haven't even taken their repeater out of there yet. They were just going to take it out to make it available, make the antenna available to us. So they're still working on an alternate location for their repeater.
Okay, so it's still functional as far as search and rescue is up there.
To my knowledge, it is, yes.
Yeah.
We want to move it to another location because it serves the valley better.
Right. Okay. So we'll put that one off to June. All right. Anything else anybody's got that we should be discussing or brought up or care about?
1 second. I got to step away for a sec. Just someone take a note if there's something that needs to go in the minutes.
I'm not too sure that I like that smug look on Fred's face. It's up to no good.
Did he finish his
I
supper?
had a new deadline for Fred to have everything ready for Golden.
Press to talk, Freddie.
You really don't want to carry that repeater through the snow on a gondola with a 2-post rack. It'll be a June thing.
Just put it on
The
skis.
ride would be a lot better.
But yeah, duplexer, everything's ready to go. I have still some testing to do with the All-Star. And what I like to do actually is burn the repeater in over winter sometime here, maybe in December or so. I just got to get from Jeff the access codes to the Archon controller on Okanagan Mountain, because what I thought I would do is shut down the repeater up there, because we'll key up both of them, and just run the Golden repeater here for a week or so. And once we're happy, the whole package is ready to go.
Which one would you shut down on Okanagan Mountain? At 147?
147, yeah.
Okay, let me know, because we hold our Wednesday night check-ins on 147. So,
well, what I've done is I've been keying it up and working on it, and I key up Okanagan as well. So I just tell people that I'm testing with, even in the dummy load, because it's so sensitive that even with my rubber duck on low power, I trip it in the shop, in the bunker.
yeah.
But yeah, no, we don't even have to do that. We could just do it for one day, or just run them in parallel for, people will know that we're keying up both of them.
Yeah. Hey, create an echo if you tried to use it. Eh?
All kinds of intermod.
Yeah.
Don't want to do that very long.
Yeah. Okay, Stephen, did you have something else there that you said had to go in the minutes, or you?
No, I just if I missed anything that needed to go in the minutes, I'd need a reminder when I got back here.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. No, I think if there's nothing else, it's time for Greg's input.
I do have
I
one
move to
question.
adjourn this meeting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
My question
John
is
has a question.
putting in the repeater. If we put the repeater in Golden, has someone registered it with the repeater group in the province?
That was hard to understand, John.
He's wondering if we've coordinated a frequency through BCARCC.
I wouldn't do that, because we're not retuning it. It'll be, we looked in the area, and it'll be 147, and just deploy it as an existing repeater once it's in place. I mean, we could do the coordination over winter, but it's not going to get into anything else in the area.
Okay. All right, Greg, had you made that motion?
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
There you go.
I
Now,
have one more comment, actually, and that doesn't have to be in the minutes. I just had a brain fart. I'm just going to make a different subaudible tone. So I'm going to make Golden 100. And so we can play with both repeaters, depending on what subaudible tone you key up. And when we deploy it, I'll reprogram the subaudible tone to be 88, same as Kelowna, 88.5. Problem solved.
Yeah, that way it won't interfere while you're tuning it up.